Good evening. My name is Schaaf, and I'm a candidate for Oakland City Council District 4, which is the community where I was born and raised. I have been doing volunteer work in this community for my entire life. I like to say I have dirt under my fingernails from every single neighborhood. 15 years ago, I was an attorney at the largest law firm in Oakland, but at that time, my mom and I started a nonprofit called Oakland Cares. We organized hundreds of volunteer projects throughout Oakland. They were all just one-day, hands-on projects. And it was in doing that that I realized that my heart was really with community service. And I left my job at the law firm to take a job at the Marcus Foster Educational Institute to start a centralized volunteer program with the Oakland Public Schools. And in fact, one of our very first pilot schools was Allendale, right here, back when Steve Stevens was the principal, if anyone remembers back to those days. From there, I ended up getting some opportunities to get amazing experience in public policy. I was the chief of staff to the president of the city council, Ignacio de la Fuente. I then became the chief aide to Jerry Brown, served as his point person for crime prevention. Went on to be an executive at the Port of Oakland, where I was able to bring millions of dollars into Oakland for infrastructure and environmental protection, and most recently served as the senior policy advisor for economic and community development for the city council. But during all that time, I have been a very passionate and active community volunteer. I've not just served on boards of directors, I've cut back lots of blackberry bushes along Sassel Creek, but I have served on the boards of 9 Oakland nonprofits, including the League of Women Voters, the Museum of Children's Art in Oakland, and the Oakland Schools Foundation. I'm also the proud mother of 2 children, and they're the real reason that I'm here tonight. As a lifelong resident of Oakland, as someone with a 3- and a 5-year-old, and I would like them to be able to raise their families here in Oakland in a safe environment, with a thriving economy, with a responsive and responsible government, and with excellent public schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gillen.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jason Gillen, and the reason I'm running for District 4 for the City Council seat is because I live in the district and I want to make things better for everybody. The city is in a financial crisis right now. That's not news to anybody. It's been on the news every day for the last 2 to 3 years. We need to examine the way the city does the budget, the way they handle themselves in the pension funds. Unfortunately, the city has given generous pensions and generous salaries to city employees over the last 30 years, and it's finally caught up with them. The tax situation and the revenue situation in the city is absolutely horrible. I'm not going to tell you that the city is broken like some of the other candidates have. I'm not going to tell you that I have all the fixes for it. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to be out in the community to work for you guys if you vote for me. I have a 3-year-old. My wife was just laid off from the city of Oakland due to so-called budget issues. Obviously they have budget issues, but if you tackle that by laying off low-paid city employees and you keep the higher-paid salary and pensioned employees, then you're not going to make a dent into our budget situation. It's just not going to happen. So if they continue to do this for the next 4 to however many years, it's going to lead the city into financial turmoil. Another reason that I definitely want to run for city council is because the city needs to address public safety issues in the city by laying off police officers, which I'm 100% against. That's not the answer either. We need to work with the unions and work with the pension funds that are going to bring the city down to its knees. Other than that, I live at the corner of Brookdale and High, so I live on this side of town. I come to the NCPCs every month that I've lived here in the district, and I will be out in the community, and I'm not going to hide behind City Hall or hide behind endorsements that are out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Killian.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you for coming out tonight in this weather and missing the Rangers play the Yankees tonight. So hopefully we'll be brief so we can get home and see the last innings of the game. My name is Killian. I'm an attorney in downtown Oakland. I've lived in Oakland since I went to law school at UC Berkeley. Like you, I love this city. I've raised my family here. I'm proud to say that my 2 sons are now away at college. And I have put my roots into this city because I believe in Oakland. And in order for us to have the city that we all deserve, we have to tackle our basic serious problems. We have to be safe in our homes. We have to have jobs so our kids can come here and live and be able to work and grow their families in Oakland as well. And we have to get basic city services. There's no reason why you pay your taxes, we do the things we do as citizens, and yet the city does not respond or deliver for us. That will change with new council people. When you get people who are dedicated to public service and have done the things that it takes to make hard decisions and make things work, then we'll have a better city here. I served on the AC Transit Board at the time when it faced its largest deficits ever in its history, where the choice literally was we were going to have to shut the system down. So rather than just cut service, rather than just fire people, we went through our budget and made the serious choices that saved us money to keep the system running. And I'm very proud to say when I left AC Transit Board for the first time in its history, it had a surplus. I served for 5 years on the Oakland Planning Commission and changed the way it did business. Instead of just sitting at a dais waiting for people to come, we got out in the community and reached out to bring people into Oakland, to talk to neighborhoods and residents before a problem arose. Not when it came to the podium, but months before so that we could resolve it. Those are the kinds of things I've done, and I look forward to doing them for you here in this district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Shelby.
Good evening. My name is Melanie Shelby, and I too want to say thank you for coming out this evening. It's wonderful to see such a rich crowd here, and this election is particularly important because in 10 days, I never count the day we're in, you have the opportunity to identify 3 candidates on this dais that you feel best suits your needs. And ranked choice voting is absolutely new for us in Oakland, and the League of Women Voters are on the forefront of that. And so I always love to remind people of the opportunity to embrace 3 of us. I'm running for City Council because I believe I'm uniquely qualified to represent District 4. As an executive, as a current small business owner, as a legislative advocate, a coalition builder, a youth and education advocate, I believe I bring some very diverse experiences that are critical at this time in Oakland's history. Oakland currently is going through one of the most challenging fiscal times that we've ever had. And if you listen to economists, they say local government is really not going to bounce back until about 2016, 2017. That being said, one of our first orders of business is really beginning to understand what critical services our city council is going to focus on. And so, as the next city council member, that by far is a priority. The absolute, beyond that priority, it's getting this fiscal budget. We've got a $1.2 billion budget here in the city of Oakland, and I'm confident we've all heard conversation around the unrestricted budget, but beginning to recognize how we prioritize those elements. Also, beyond fiscal accountability, public safety is absolutely a priority that I look forward to talking about further as we continue with this dialogue tonight. Much stronger partnerships and collaborations with our public schools, and last but not least, economic recovery, because we recognize that it's small businesses that truly are the engines that are fueling this economy. So I look forward to dialoguing with you tonight, and thank you again for your time. I'm Melanie Shelby.
Thank you very much. Mr. Swafford.
Let me thank Allendale Rec Center for hosting, Moni and the League for keeping order this evening, the Laurel Village Association, the Laurel District Association for bringing us together and doing many wonderful things here in the community. That's greatly appreciated. And all of you for coming out. As I've said before, this is an opportunity for us to rethink our approach to representation, and for you to be here, to be informed, and hopefully to carry this back to your neighbors and friends, to advocate for the person that best represents your values and could best achieve your priorities is invaluable. Getting the message out and getting people to really connect with their local representative is important. My name is Daniel Swafford. I'm here to ask for your vote as your representative for Oakland City Council. I think what we can do is put some of the priorities back on the community level. put people first in terms of our decision making. So we can take this opportunity to wrap our arms around the generation of young people to deal with some of the systemic issues that has plagued the city of Oakland for generations, and really make some good, heartfelt decisions within this position. I have done that in my service. I'm a fourth generation Oakland resident. I moved into my grandmother's home on Rhoda and Diamond after returning from college, and I put my professional skills into public service. I have a background teaching at Laney College and working in business management consulting for the past 10 years. I took on leadership roles to make change happen on the street levels, to help revitalize the district, to organize individuals, to bring people together to get our priorities met, despite the dysfunction in City Hall. I think there's a clear distinction in the candidates in this election. If you like how Oakland's been doing business, you can vote for a politician and you can have that results. I'm here to represent us in a different way. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kanz.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming this evening. My name is Ralph Kanz. I've been about a 30-year resident of District 4. Lived in the Piedmont Pines area. I've lived in the Laurel. My wife and I currently own a home down on Congress Avenue, just right down on High Street. I've seen the diversity of District 4. I've lived the diversity of District 4. I've seen the different challenges that the district faces depending on where you live in this district. And they're significantly different between when you live in Montclair and when you live in the Melrose. You get down to the Melrose and you're in direct touch with a city that has a 20% unemployment rate and a nearly 20% poverty rate. And you get to witness that firsthand, and you understand how much this city needs to do to help people all throughout the city, and we need to balance the needs of those different areas. I served a term on the Public Ethics Commission, and that helped me develop a real clear understanding of just how big a problem the city has with ethics. And that directly feeds back into the thing that the city is most lacking, and that is real leadership. A leadership that will help solve the problems the city has in a fair way and a meaningful way. Right now we have we don't really have leadership. We have backroom dealing. We don't have honesty. The biggest thing we're missing is honesty. We're missing the ability to set sides down and work out problems in a productive way where everybody feels like they've come out ahead when something's agreed to in the final process. That's what I'm about. That's why I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Broadhurst.
Good evening. My name is Jill Broadhurst. I'm running for District 4 City Council. My husband and I moved here to Oakland almost 10 years ago. And all of those 10 years, practically, I've been volunteering in the community. I'm a founding member of Montclair Safety Improvement Council, which is an NCPC in the Montclair area. I served as vice chair for 7.5 years, just recently resigning to start campaigning. I still remain the beautification chair and have done a lot of beautification projects in Montclair, but also around Oakland. I have 2 children. My daughter's in 2nd grade at the local elementary school, and I'm active with the PTA. I'm also a library commissioner. I'm on the Keep Oakland Beautiful board, which does citywide beautification projects all around Oakland. We were down at the Coliseum cleaning the Damon Slough. We also did the Bancroft Medians a couple weeks ago. I'm a founding member of the Wildfire Advisory Board and worked on that campaign as well. I'm a big-time volunteer, and I love this city, and I do it because I feel that I have a responsibility, but I also want to see my community and this city succeed. My history, because I just want to take a second regarding that, is I am actually first generation. Both my parents are immigrants. My dad is from England, a factory worker with 2 years of high school education, and my mother is from Ecuador, from South America. I consider myself Latina, and I do speak Spanish. Si hablo español. I basically grew up with that work ethic of understanding that if you applied yourself and you work hard, there would be results that came to benefit you and the community around you. And that's how I've been raised, and that's how I live my life today. So when you look at candidates, you need to understand what is it that matters most. Making sure that they have those core values, that they understand what a community is and what their roles are as elected officials to you, the residents. So when I am putting myself out there, it is because I believe I have those qualities. Thank you.
Thank you all very